Hey everyone, it's Lara here from makingcardsison.com, and today I'm here with a card using the Big Bloom stamp set by Winnie and Walter. Winnie and Walter created this stamp set for Simon Says Stamp for their special STAMPtember event. This is a month-long event filled with lots of videos and inspiration and new products as well. So Winnie and Walter created the Big Bloom stamp set, and I'm going to use the flower stamp first. I mounted that onto my Fiskars stamp press, and I'm going to stamp that onto some watercolor paper using archival jet black ink, since I will be doing some watercoloring. I've seen my friend Julie doing a lot of watercoloring lately using her Cure Take Gonzai Tombi watercolor sets and a pencil aquash brush, so I decided to do that as well. So she inspired me to do this technique today. I'm inspired by this color scheme that I saw over at Pinterest, and I first used my pencil aquash brush to add water to that flower image just to get the colors moving a little bit. So I'm picking up some color using that brush. I'm dabbing that off to my baby wipe because otherwise the color would be too intense, and I just only want like a light wash of color. So I'm adding the color, I'm just spreading that around with the brush. And then I'm going to use a coral color on the bottom of that flower, and I'm just starting at the bottom and I'm working my way up. And then I am kind of blending that together in the center of that flower just to get a good gradient, so you can like really see the transition of the pink and the coral. I am using the medium pencil aquash brush. There's also a small one and a large one, but I just like to use the medium one to do coloring for images like this. So I'm just blending that together, adding a little bit more of color here and there just to get some shading. So I'm just going in, and then I'm going to color the other petals of that flower. So first I am using my brush to add some water to those petals to get the colors moving, and then I decided to use that very beautiful kind of mint or turquoise color, and I'm adding that to my image. I'm only adding a really small amount of that color, and I'm kind of blending that with the brush. Since there's a lot of water in there, it's just really easy to blend that. If you don't have a brush like that, then you can just use a regular paintbrush and water. I'm blending that color using the pearlescent watercolor in that set. And if you don't have this set, then you can create your own pearlized water using perfect pearls and a mister or just some regular water. After I colored that flower, I let that air dry, and then I cut that piece a little bit smaller so it's a nice square shaped paper. I'm going to create a really fast shaker card using the fuse tool. And for the fuse tool, you need some plastic sheets. You can either use stamp pockets from Avriel or Simon Says Stamp, or you can also use these photo sleeves. I am using some photo sleeves by We Are Memory Keepers, and I put a little bit of adhesive on the back of that watercolor piece, and then I'm going to slide that into that pocket, and I'm lining it up with the lines on my grid mat, just because I want to have that flower in there all straight and lined up. Then I'll be doing the actual fusing. So I let my fuse tool heat up for a couple of minutes, and then I can use that steel ruler over there to create some really straight lines. You don't have to use this ruler. You can also just do it without the ruler. It's really up to you, but I just like to use it because I want some really neat and straight lines. I'm going over those lines for twice, just to make sure that's all closed up nicely so that the sequins won't fall out. And when you're using the fuse tool, you have to put quite a lot of pressure on there to make sure the fuse tool works really well. I'm going to fill up this shaker with some sequins, and I like to use a little spoon to fill that shaker up because it just works easier for me than just sprinkling the sequins in by hand. I'm using some clear sequins, and then I'm also using some pink sequins, just using some mixes together. And then I still need to close up that top opening over there. So I'm just going to do the same technique using the fuse tool, And by that time the fuse tool was really hot, so you have to really make sure that you're not going to burn yourself with this tool because it really gets very, very hot. So just be careful when using this. So I'm just cutting that pocket a little bit smaller so it can fit a note card. And then for the greeting, I'm using that same Big Bloom stamp set, and I'm going to use the Enjoy stamp. So this is like a little circle stamp. I'm going to stamp that onto some white cardstock using Spring Rain ink from Simon Says Stamp. And as you can see, I stamped that greeting a couple of times because I wasn't really sure which color to use, but I decided to use the Spring Rain ink. And then I'm going to punch out that circle using a 1-inch circle punch by EK Success. And then I'm just adhering that circle on there using some foam adhesive. So my card is almost finished. Just going to adhere that piece onto a 4 1/4 square inch card. A 4 1/4 inch square card, and I adhere that piece on there using my ATG. So that finishes up my card. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to visit my blog for more information. See you there. Bye bye.